Hi, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. My name's Jill Novak from Sister Science, and you are dropping in on our annual Reflect and Vision workshop. So, thank you for being here. You'll find that I'm going to be looking up above you a little bit. I've got some notes written for myself on the screen behind the one that has the camera. And I'm also going to be giving you a little bit of chime action tonight to help us transition from different pieces of our evening together. Yeah, so welcome. Yeah. We always start everything at Sister Science with a drop in. So I will be leading us into a drop in. But before we get there, I just wanted to talk about why we're here, why we are doing what we're doing tonight. So, oh, 2025 for me carries a little bit of a different weight. It's almost like the longer I've been doing this practice, the more important it becomes to me, and the more I realize why I'm doing it. I think sometimes we start these things and they feel a little bit, I don't know if frivolous isn't quite the right word, but we don't understand the importance of them. They feel fun and there's something that we get out of them that feels good, but we can't quite name it or understand it. And I think that that in itself is the importance of it. I feel something about what's going on in the world right now, in that there is a really big pull telling us not to change, not to evolve, just stay here. It's safer. And yet, the more we stay, the more uncomfortable we become. So there's something very tactile pulling us forward, asking us to step into what is next. And this dichotomy of sensations, the one that's saying, don't move, stay here, it's safer, is on one end, and there's something else on the other end that feels a little bit uncertain. And so the old stuff is outdated. It's asking us to stay small, to stay exactly the way we are, and not, don't look too closely. Stay distracted, stay numbed to it all, stay a little bit oblivious. And that's, where we're kind of being asked to stay. The stepping forward doesn't feel neat or certain. There's a lot of it that feels very like jumping off a cliff somehow. Like we're being asked to step into something where we haven't been given the map. There's no certainty around it. Um, we don't actually know. There's just a lot of trust. And with that comes a lot of curiosity, perhaps, becomes a lot of vulnerability, but we're not being given guarantees about what that step forward looks like either. So, this process then that we're doing tonight, to me, feels even more important because I want to be able to anchor down that which I can control, that which I know is important to me, that which I can identify as being nourishing and supportive in my life so that I can tether myself to something. And also to witness what's not working so that I know what it is I can leave behind. And that's a big part of what we're going to do here tonight. Ayurveda is the anchor underneath all of Sister Science, Ayurveda and yoga. Sister Science is here to teach us how to listen to our own wisdom. And we use the tools of Ayurveda and the tools of yoga to help us with that process. So the goal is not to know yoga. The goal is not to understand Ayurveda, but the goal is to understand how these two wisdom modalities can lead us into knowing and trusting ourselves in a world that, I don't know, we don't really find a lot of places that we feel like we can put that trust external to ourselves. So to me, without that placement, a place where we can put that trust external, we need to curate the space inside of us where that trust can be in-sourced. That's our goal. And so, thank you for coming tonight because tonight is a huge step in the practice of coming in to trust ourselves. Ayurveda teaches us that all disease begins in the digestive system. It tells us that when we can't digest properly, things get munked up in our bodies, gunked, and ama is happening, which is like just toxins, metabolic waste, gunk. It could even be called cholesterol. It's just the stuff in your system that doesn't serve you very well. And our goal is to digest well so that we don't have a lot of gunk in our system. Now, Ayurveda doesn't differentiate between digesting food and digesting anything from any of our other senses. So, what you see needs to be digested. What you hear needs to be digested. What you smell, taste, touch, all needs to be digested. All of your life's experiences need to be digested. And if they aren't, they leave gunk. And so tonight we're just making time to digest 2025. Because when we can do that, we metabolize, we process, we move through so that we can step forward clearer, lighter, and more aligned. So that's what we're going to do tonight. To begin, let's drop into a meditation. So I want you to let yourself ground your feet, ground your seat. Perhaps you're curled up on a couch tonight. Maybe you're sitting on the floor with a journal on your lap. Let yourself take a nice deep breath. And just honor the fact that you've been a lot of different places already today. Got a lot of things on your plate. And you're coming out of that busyness. You're letting each breath drop you into you. It's like coming into a beautiful, quiet sanctuary after being out on a really loud, busy street. Maybe you're feeling yourself open and pass through that door and feeling it close behind you. And just take a nice, deep, big inhale and exhale in this sanctuary. Long breath in and out. We're just going to set the intention here that we just want to be witness to all the ideas that come through our head in this next hour, all of the thoughts, all of the emotions, and to take seriously whatever our body, mind, and spirit chooses to show us. Letting yourself have a nice deep breath in and out there, setting the intention that we want to listen, we want to be witness to that which wants to come forward. Anything that your highest self wants you to see and witness and be aware of will show up. And take a deep breath in and out with that. And let yourself know that nothing is going to come forward that your body doesn't want to show. We're not digging, we're not going looking for anything deeper, anything that your body isn't ready to or wanting to excavate just gets to stay private. So assure yourself that only what you're ready for and what your body, mind, and spirit want to be seen will rise up. And take a deep breath in and out. And let yourself come back to our call. What you're going to need for this next hour is a quiet, uninterrupted space, perhaps a cup of tea, a journal and a pen, and a warm drink, So let yourself kind of feel like you're getting everything ready around you. Maybe you printed off the journal pages, in which case you can write on them. Maybe you didn't. Don't, it doesn't worry. It doesn't matter if you didn't. Um, yeah. The very first page lets us look at the blessings and the challenges of the past year. And I'm just going to guide us through that past year. And it's up to you if you write while I'm guiding or if you want to sort of be in a meditative state and then come up to journal. I want to give a couple caveats there because sometimes when we write, we are doing it from a mental space. Our to-do lists, our productivity, all the things we think we have to get accomplished can come from that space. And when we go in and listen first and then come up and write, sometimes we can access something that's just a little bit more embodied knowledge than just from our mind. So I guess that means my recommendation is to let yourself be in that state, feel it first, and then try and give it words. All right, here we go. Our second meditation of the night. Let's start with a little chime. Deep breath in and out. We're going back into that sanctuary, the cloak of safety, with the intention to witness the year 2025, to be present that all that it brought us, that was a blessing, and all the challenges, to see it all without judgment, without need to explain it, but just to feel it. Take yourself back to last January, the winter months, the cold and dark, the time as we come out of Christmas, come out of the busy season, and stepped into this new year. Feel January. Noticing what was challenging and nourishing. Let yourself think of milestones, maybe a certain birthday or a graduation, turning points, a moment in time where things changed, lessons. And as we go through each month, ask yourself, what am I inviting forward from this time? What patterns am I seeing that I'm happy to leave behind? Let yourself step into February. Maybe there was winter holidays. Maybe there was challenges at work. Maybe there's some seasonal affective disorder that is an annual occurrence for you. Just letting yourself remember, see the patterns that happen throughout your year. Move to March. In so many places, it's spring in March. The calendar tells us it's the equinox. The calendar tells us that we're moving to spring. So much of March is still winter, still the cold, dark Vata season. Perhaps April is what shepherds in spring. I'm just noticing as you shift seasons, what you notice in your body, what you notice in your memories. What things is your body highlighting to you as you go to May? Let yourself take a deep breath in and out, remembering the days of May. Milestones, lessons, challenges, turning points. And feel the shift to June. Again, where that seasonal transition takes place. And the habits and patterns of the spring change to the needs of summer. The heat increasing, pitta, heat, and light showing up in our season, bringing forward sort of the fruits of our labor. Maybe you're moving into holiday season. Maybe there's different family, different needs, a different way that you are in relationship to your calendar in the summer. Notice that and move to July. Maybe July is a month all on its own. Maybe it's clumped together with August. What happens for you during these summer months? Are they easy and good for you? And feel August. We might call them the dog days of summer. Turning points, lessons, challenges, blessings. And as the calendar turns to September, for so many of us, this is another year beginning. If you have kids, it might be the new school year. If you're in school yourself, it's the new school year. What shifts in September? How do we move into October? The season shifts again. Feeling it move from the pitta warmth to, again, the vata cooling. Ayurveda sharing with us all the time that the seasonal shifts are the hardest times when we're most easily knocked off balance. Maybe you're noticing as you move through your year places and times that you were knocked off balance. And feel November, the beginning of our winter. And move to December. What is most important for you to take away from this year in terms of how it felt? How did 2025 feel? How can you be with that answer without judgment? Just letting yourself witness it. What do you want to bring forward that feels good, feels important? It feels like a piece of information integral to your next steps. Nourishing and supporting the building ojas, your building capacity to build a big, beautiful life. And what doesn't? What doesn't serve you? What patterns showed up in 2025 that have shown up every year for a number of years? Patterns are showing up that you're sick of, that don't support you, that if shifted, could create a lot of space for new potential, new opportunity. How can you be present to this truth without judgment, with piles of compassion? Take a nice deep breath in and out, and invite everything to come forward with you and begin to pour out your pen. Open your eyes, pen to paper. What were the blessings of 2025? What were the challenges? I'm going to set my timer right now so that you have 5 minutes to write. You have 1 more minute. Let yourself take a deep breath in and out. And I want you to look at what you've written about. I'm noticing I wrote down holidays. I'm noticing I wrote down some things about work. Um, I'm noticing our yoga teacher training is going this year, and I acknowledge that. And in November, my dad died. So there's some big life transitions happening this year. Have a look at what you've got. And our next 5 minutes, I want you to extract from that. I want you to sit with what this tells you. So maybe you are looking at what were the milestones, what were the accomplishments, what were the turning points, but also what are you pulling out of this in terms of what's the good juicy stuff? Because turning points can be good or bad. And I want us to get a sense of all of this sits together. So you can have the grief of a parent passing and all of those emotions that feel sad and potentially heavy. And it can sit right beside emotions over here that where you have immense pride and immense gratitude. And those two things can sit side by side. And I'm noticing that on mine when I look at the yoga teacher training. And, you know, one day later, my dad passing. And so one weekend's just so full of deliciousness, juiciness. And the next day, something huge happens that's will be a turning point in my life forever. How do those sit side by side? So for the next 5 minutes, I want you to just like, what deeper truths are revealing themselves for you in this year? 5 minutes again. Here, let's have chimes for the beginning of our 5 minutes as well. What did this year uncover? What deeper truth does 2025 want you to see? Sorry, I dropped them. That wasn't the chime I wanted to bring you back with. So, we're trying to get ourselves into a state where instead of being an either or, black or white, this or that, we can start of being a dance with life where we can say yes and so that we can allow everything that's nourishing to come in and we can give ourselves space to be more discerning about that, to always be making like small micro decisions. In Ayurveda, we call it viveka, keen discernment. So when you are digesting 2025, use keen discernment to decide what is going to come with you, what you will take with gratitude, and what you can release that no longer serves you. So that's your next journal prompt. All of this. What do you take away with gratitude? What do you invite to stay with you? The ways that you show up in this world that are meaningful and real and authentic to you, and what no longer serves you. So I'll give you a few minutes here. Ready? Begin. What can you take away with gratitude and what no longer serves you? Okay. I'll try not to drop it this time. Take a nice deep breath in and out. Perhaps close your eyes. I want you to feel that which you are grateful for. I want you to feel the richness and the love the ways you show up in the world that are important to you and you want to continue. Invite that forward and take a deep breath in and out, just sealing that. The words, the intention, your mindfulness, your clarity around it. Feel the vibration of that, the energetics of what you're bringing forward. Perhaps the lightness and the buoyancy, perhaps the motivation and focus. And take a deep breath in and out. And just give that thanks. One more breath, inhale and exhale. And now visualize what you are leaving here in this year. And it may be something that has served you well for a really long time, like an old sweater that you've had for ages, but it's thinning and it's pilled, and maybe there's a rip or a hole in it. Maybe it's stained. It just doesn't need to come forward with you anymore. It just no longer serves you. And hauling it around is energy expensive. It doesn't support you anymore. And so sometimes we say thank you and goodbye to good things as well. So the good, the bad, and the ugly, the parts of 2026, 2025 that you do not want to bring into 2026 with you. Maybe there's a pattern that you see. Maybe there's a way of communicating within a relationship that has to change. Maybe there's a truth that you're not speaking, but it's demanding to be heard. Feel that. Feel the heaviness of that which doesn't serve you. Feel the space that it takes up in your body. Feel yourself packing it up as if you're putting it in a suitcase and taking that suitcase and just setting it down. Leaving it like you're dropping it off at the charity shop. Maybe you're taking it to the dump. Deep inhale, deep exhale. It is no longer needed. I think you might need another breath in and out. Thank it. Thank it for the lessons, the challenges, the way it shaped who you are and what you know to be true. And let it go. And with your next breath, feel yourself stepping forward toward 2026 without that baggage. You might even have to do a dust off the shoulders. Oh, if you know what we'll do? We'll use sound. Are you ready? We're releasing. Well, thank you, 2026. Or sorry, thank you, 2025. That felt good to wrap up. Lovely. Okay, you guys. Let's step into 2026. I do this a bit different than setting resolutions because to me, again, it's really important that we move past our to-do list. Our mind is really good at making us a to-do list of what we should do next year, so it'll be good. And that's never been useful for me. The whole to-do list way of approaching this just makes me feel like a failure because I'm never very good at it. So, how we're going to go about this is we're going to visualize. We're going to go visit our future selves and we're going to do some visualization exercises around it. So, I don't know where you guys are in your rooms, but it would be great if you could come to standing and bring yourself to that standing position. If not, just feel your sit bones where you're at and do this exercise down through your sit bones. So, from a standing position for me, I'm going to ground through the feet. Taking a nice deep breath in and out. Your eyes are closed or cast down. Deep breath in and out as you allow yourself to feel like you are stepping into a new space, a new time, a new place. Feel the body. And breathe in as if you're drawing up through the roots, as if you're absorbing water in your roots and you're bringing that water and nourishment up into your body. So breathe in through those roots, breathe out through the crown, giving that to the universe. And then breathe in through the crown, drawing in that ethereal, light, white warmth, and exhale down into the roots. So when you breathe in, it's that earth energy coming up through the ground. And as you exhale, you let that energy pour out through your crown. When you inhale, you bring that warm, white, divine light down into your body. And you let it start to exhale out through the soles of your feet. The rooted earth, warm, nourishing, heavy, grounded energy coming up. And the divine white light coming in and down. And just let yourself be a conduit for this as the divine white light of universal energy comes in and connects itself with the grounded earth energy coming up through the roots. And feel where these two energies meet in your body. Perhaps the heart chakra, perhaps somewhere else. Just notice. From this place, I'm going to guide you on a visualization. I'd like you to fast forward to time travel to December 16th, a year from now, or a year from when you are listening to this recording. And I want you to meet yourself. Picture walking out to your door, knocking or ringing the doorbell, or maybe you know so well that you can just walk into this house. And there you are a year from now. And you greet yourself like old friends. Perhaps there's a hug or a kiss on the cheek. Maybe even there's just like a little moment of emotion, a little choked up at being able to see each other. Settle into conversation. Notice where you are. Where are you meeting each other? Where do you nestle in? Is there a cup of tea? Is there a bowl of soup? What's happening? What is the future you wearing? How does she look to you? Ask her. Ask her some questions. What have you been up to? When you get out of bed in the morning, what do you do with your day? Who do you spend your time with? What fills you up? How does your life feel? Notice her mood, your mood. Notice the lightness or the love or the sense of stability in you, your future self. And get curious. If your future self had advice for you, oh, if they could reach back in time and just tell you what they know now after 2026, the same way you've just told yourself what you can see clearly at the end of 2025, if your future self could reach back and give you that advice a year earlier, what would it be? What did you do differently in 2026? What mattered most? If there was one piece of advice that your future self could give you, what would it be? Gosh, you could sit here and chat for hours, but you have some work to do tonight, so you have to say goodbye. Feel yourself ending your time together. Gosh, just having gratitude and appreciation for this connection. And promise that you can drop in whenever you want to reconnect over this next year. I promise that you will. You'll come, you'll return. And bid each other farewell. Let's take a nice deep breath in and out. Now, at the end of the chime, lift your pen and start to write. Snuggling back down into the seated position if you chose to stand. And I want you to write. What's your piece of advice? How does work life feel? How does home feel? How do relationships feel? We can sometimes predict milestones, birthdays, anniversaries, graduation, trips that might already be in the calendar. How can you have intention around those things so they feel the way you want them to feel? What did you feel that you did differently? What did your future self show you about how you showed up in the world differently to be able to get the results that you are wanting? What did you do differently in 2026 to get these results? All right. We are going to take this ethereal experience and we're going to try and give it some context. We're going to try and give it a bit of structure. Okay. So the first thing that we're going to do is write out some goals in terms of feelings. Can you write out, I want to feel? So maybe you're going to make 5 goals out of everything that you've sort of poured out around what your future self told you. And I want to feel 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to feel. You have 5. Are you getting there? There's a little shift you need to change in these I want to feel statements. So now take the statement and change them into I am statements. Okay? I am. I am instead of I want to feel. I am. you doing? Is there a word that is coming up for you? I always have trouble with this one because for me, picking a word of the year I always forget my word and I change it. I feel like it changes all the time. So this is a hard one for me. Do you have a word? And does that work for you? Because if it does, I've heard great things about being able to live by that word. And if you have your word of the year, how does it become a I am statement? I have one for tonight. It's my word of the year for 2026 as of now. Oh, you guys are gonna hate this part. Everyone always doesn't like it. So maybe you're gonna pick up this piece of paper. Maybe you're gonna rip it out of the journal that you are using right now, but we're gonna stand up again. And we're gonna hold, oh gosh, I should do it with you. We're gonna hold our piece of paper. And just think of what you've written down about this year, this 2026. And we're gonna rip it up. Take a nice deep breath in and out as you hold it. And I'm going to say some words and you're going to say it out loud on your end of the camera. No one can hear you, so don't worry about it. I release this intention. I want this or something better. This is my intention for 2026. I want this or something better. This is my intention for 2026. Allow this, bring this or something better. Oh, it's a travesty. It's a travesty. If we had a fire, if we were at the yurt, we would throw all these pieces of paper into the yurt. If you have that capacity to burn this, burn it. The universe sees our intentions. And our small human minds can't fathom the beauty and abundance and possible change that is an opportunity for us to have when we make space for it. Let's pause and breathe. Thank you for the digestion of 2025, for the ability to sit in the vision and the opportunity and the potential of 2026. For tonight, for today, this work is complete. Bring your hands to your heart. Envision the light inside. The wise, anchored, eternal light. And when we say namaste, we say the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Allow the light in you to recognize and honor all that was 2025 and all that could be in 2026. Namaste. That completes what we are doing here tonight, you guys. Oh, this kind of work is never complete. We never arrive. But what I want to affirm to you is when you spend time connecting to you, when you make space to be here in conversation with the good, the bad, and the ugly, all the pieces of you, you are honoring it. You just gave your energy to you tonight. You just gave your attention, which is a commodity in the world we live in today. You gave that attention to you. And you also supported a really good local cause. So before we close, I just want to invite you to just notice. Notice how you feel after an hour spent with you. Sometimes we feel a little softer, like the rough, sharp edges are smoothed out a little. Sometimes we can feel a little clearer. Sometimes we notice that we heard our own voice. Not mine, not the outside world's, but we heard our own voice and that felt good. Some of us can even feel a little, thank you. Come back and do that again. That felt really good in us. Nothing that came through tonight needs to be rushed. Nothing that came through arrived as a full carved out plan, but it was a felt sense. It's a knowing, a knowingness. And this matters. This is true. This is worth tending. We tend this feeling. We come back, we call it a practice in yoga because we have to practice being in relationship with ourselves. This is the insight. This is the practice to be in that sort of powerful insight that our own wisdom can offer us when we take the time to be with it. So it can be the yoga class that gives you sort of the aha moment in Shavasana. It can be the journaling exercise that sort of lets you get it out all on paper and be able to see it more clearly. It can be the meditation that gets rid of all the noise so that you can be without it. Withdraw your senses, pratyahara, and be present, single pointed focus, dharana, the eight limbs of yoga coming into fruition. As you breathe, practice pranayama and you're with yourself. These are the tools of yoga. The year of you is filled with these tools. The year of you is filled with the tools of Ayurveda. And if you want more information about that, if you want a weekly time to be in relationship with yourself that is anchored, that is supported, that is in community with people who are doing the same work that you are doing, it's a constant integration. It's a support of your intuition. And it's accountability that doesn't have a lot of pressure around it, but it's accountability that has relationship around it, context, understanding, compassion. So if something stirred up in you tonight and you want to know more, just know that I can give you everything you need to know about the year of you. And there's some good incentives that are happening in December. So you can get $500 off your enrollment if that's something that feels right to you. And you can begin with us in January. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. And in a second, I'm just going to turn off our recording. And anyone who wants to, we'll do a little round table. And you can share with me what it was that was impactful for you tonight. I really, really thank you for being here. Namaste. With all my appreciation and love. Thank you. All right, let's turn off the recording.